We stay with the E-Levy because it's day 3 of its implementation, and already there are mixed feelings about the tax handle, from wrongful deductions to technical errors. But in all, these businesses that rely heavily on mobile money transactions are anxious about the impact of the E-Levy on the cost of doing business in the country. Helping us discuss tonight is President of the Ghana Union of Traders Association, Dr. Joseph Oben. We're grateful, Doctor, you could join us in such a short notice. First of all, day 3 of E-Levy, what exactly are traders telling you regarding their concerns?
Yeah, when it was being introduced to us, people were naturally confused with new things. People are not comfortable with new taxes, and they will have to have better perspective and better understanding. Then they go on with it. So initial stages were asking about double taxation. We're talking about even the rate of the levy itself, whether it is too high or not. And since the implementation, we've gotten advantage to have education with Ghana Revenue Authority, which have been very insightful. And then it have actually cleared some of the fears from us in terms of the double taxation, because they have assured us that those who have registered with the TIN number, with the VAT and all that, some of these things will not cut on them. And so we are good to go.
So if I could be very clear on this one, with traders that have TIN numbers, then they're going to be exempted from the E-Levy deductions?
Yeah, that's what the assurance have come. So in fact, this is how they are going to do to solve the issue of the double taxation. Otherwise, it's going to be a very huge issue. Are we going to take it out at the end when we are filing our taxes? Or you are going to make a mechanism that whatever tax that we are paying now, we are not made to pay. So either we pay and then we take it out at the end of the year, or whatever mechanism that they will bring will go a long way to help us, because we should not pay double taxation. Yeah.
But definitely, GUTA is made up of, a wide range of informal sector workers. And it also begs the question about the impacts the E-Levy is going to have on the cost of doing business.
Yeah, to tell the truth, the prudence of business tells us that we have options to make. When somebody is paying me through the Momo, I'm not going to suffer any payment. But when I'm paying to my suppliers, my creditors, or whoever I have to pay, then I have to commit something. So where are the options? The options are, prudence will tell you that you either go the traditional way, you let the person come and take the money physically, or you transact through the bank, the clearing system, that's the check system and all that.
Which are exempted from E-Levy.
Which are exempted. And then also, for convenience sake, then you embrace yourself with modernity, which give you some ease of transacting, and that's the Momo. And that if I'm transferring 1,000 Ghana cedis, I'm paying 15 cedis.
Yeah.
Then I make them comparison. If by going to the bank to transact this is the best way for me as a businessman, or calling the person to come over, or simply negotiating with the person that if I pay the money, we will share two or two. Businessmen are very intelligent, and they will have their own way of doing this. But we have the options. So it doesn't put any much pressure on the way of doing business. And I believe that is not going to put a much burden on us and even the consuming public.
But in inference, it does suggest that, of course, it's really going to have some sort of an impact on the trading community.
Definitely, whichever cost that will come to bear. But then I've also told you that we have other means of doing the same business. Don't also think that we are not having our traditional way of doing our business till the Momo 10 came in. And so if that you have that one and you want to avoid a cost, because maybe there are some costs that you can bear. Those that is very negligible, the 6 cedis, 5 cedis and all that. But maybe if you're going to do a huge transfer of about 50,000, 100,000, then you say, no, let me go through the main stream banking system. So the prudence that you attach to your business will indicate that you incur more cost or not. But let's say you have 3 options. You are paying your creditor. You have to incur a cost of 15 cedis because you are paying 1,000 Ghana cedis to the person, and the cost at stake is 15 cedis. Are you going to call the person to come over to collect the money? No, you are inconveniencing your client, somebody who supplies you goods. Are you going to send somebody to the bank with car and transact it the time that goes with it? No, you see, this system have come and it has created a lot of ease and time and cost of doing business. And if you have to pay something for it, depending on what business you are doing, if 15 cedis that I'm talking as a reference to 1,000 Ghana cedi transfer is very significant for you, then you opt for the other method of trading. I don't think this is going to be a huge issue and burden on businesses. I don't think at all.
Indeed. Well, the AGI, the Chamber of Commerce, have equally raised concerns about the impact it's going to have, especially on entrepreneurs who rely heavily on mobile money transactions, saying it's really going to, wipe off their revenue margins. But,
No, it depends on how we are going, because don't also think that we use intelligence to do our business. And that's why normally I say that if there's options, then what government should have done is to make the rate affordable so that compliance level will be so high. Otherwise, the government figures may not be attained.
Exactly.
Because then people have their ways of complying or not complying, and legitimately so.
The Chamber was calling for a bandwidth of 0.5% instead of the 1.5%.
Yeah, so because normally we want the tax net to be expanded. But whilst we call that, we want the tax rate to be also affordable. So when they are affordable, the compliance level is very high, extremely high. And even it goes a long way to help government itself.
So you feel this isn't affordable for a majority of informal sector workers out there?
Yes, if you look at the people in this sector who trade in the 200, if you compile it, maybe at a point it may look negligible, like I'm saying, but maybe if you compare them within a year or a month, then you see that it has some impact.
Let's talk about exemptions, because we do know that the GRA has granted some exemptions to mobile money merchants so that they will not be able to incur much losses, especially when the fluidity in their transfers is so high. Do you think such a special dispensation should be, given to traders as well?
Yeah, they've started. And then they will see, they will check the complexities of the whole thing. And if the need arises, because sometimes too, they will be thinking about abuses in the system. So when the time arises, and then we see that it will be workable for us when exemptions are given, and then we even propose for them to do. But for now, I think having gone through education with them, we had intensive education on last Thursday, and so many questions have been answered. And this thing have just been implemented. We are yet to face some of the nitty-gritties, the complexities on operating it. And when the questions arrive, we will also get in touch with Ghana Revenue Authority for solution.
Great, great. And we have been in touch with the GRA, and they are very hopeful of giving us feedback as and when information keeps being updated. But, speaking about doing business in Ghana, Doc, we have witnessed COVID-19's impact. We've witnessed the Russia-Ukraine war, and currently we're witnessing situations here in Ghana regarding the high cost of living. From your perspective, how do you analyze Ghana's, business environment when it comes to doing business from the trader's point of view, especially when we're having E-Levy also coming on board?
Yeah, and the past 2 years have been very difficult for traders. And I would say that the impact of the COVID have gotten its negative impact on so many sectors. But for trading, we've had our worst period. In that cost of global commodities went high, abnormally high, and freight charges haven't gone up. And then if you come here also, we have other taxes that have been introduced, new taxes and all that, like the E-Levy that we're talking, all add up to the cost of doing business. So definitely we have not had it very easy during the past few months or years.
But you've been in engagement with government, with the finance ministry, with, of course, the trade ministry. What is not given in all these engagements between yourself and them? Because it does seem to mean that there isn't any leeway, especially with the, the flat rate VAT scheme, where GUTA has been already, so much heavy on the impact it's having on the cost of your profit margins.
Yeah, where we have to make government understand our plight, we have done it, and we've done it forcefully. And in the case of the benchmark, how we went about it, and in the case of the flat rate, because there's a whole lot of disparities in here. Now, if you come to the market regarding the flat rate, that's why we drew the government attention that at this time, where we have so many pressures coming from COVID and other taxes like the E-Levy and all that, this is not the time for us to also come in contact with such a very difficult tax system, or tax system that is not uniform. Let me put it that there's no uniformity on the new tax system where some are being migrated to the standard rate. It means that those who are going to the standard rate in the same market, they are going to charge 19.25%, and those who are registered to collect the VAT are going to collect or charge the VAT 4%. And then there are a whole lot of who are not also registered into the taxnet and who pay nothing. I believe that you've been going to the market. And Charles, if you have to be sincere, if I tell you to give me VAT invoices, you will not have none. You will not have any. Just because you walk into Okanshi, Opera Square and all that, and you just buy from the person who is not going to charge you VAT. Let's all be frank. And we are saying that if you have such a system that does not ensure fairness, then you are going to add those who are being moved to the standard rate out. Because who will go to the market and say, I'm going to go and buy my goods and collect the VAT of 19.2%. Whilst the person knows that there's someone who is charging 4% and another one who is not charging at all.
So that's not fairness. Where does that leave the retailer as we speak?
It means that we are in a confused state. And it means that if you do not also comply, the tax people are going to be on your neck and they are going to also disturb you. That's why we came out forcefully with that press release. And fortunately, the Ghana Revenue Authority have sat down with us. We smoke a peace pipe, and they've understood our concerns. And it's obvious that we can be in the same market where other people are charging 19.2 for the same tax system. Because the tax is not to punish anybody. The tax should bring fairness, parity, and so that we can all do what is right. But it's not that it discriminates against some of us, because they say that your threshold is higher. And that your threshold is higher, so we have to punish you so that you are edged out of business.
And we're going to see how that particular
and so we've sat down with them, and they've understood. Great. And then they have Ghana Revenue Authority actually also sympathize with this. And they have encouraged us to petition the policymakers. You know that they are policy implementers, and that we've been encouraged to petition through the policymakers, for which we have done. That we send a petition to Economic Management Team and the Finance Ministry for redress. So
any timeline regarding when this is going to be addressed for GUTA members? Any timeline from the policymakers?
Oh, I believe that, from what I explained to you, because it's impractical. Nobody can do it. All right. I will not go and charge while my neighbor, my next door neighbor is charging 4%, while the other one and the other store is not charging at all.
Okay.
And so if even you force me to charge, I will not comply. And then it will also not help government and all that. That's why we made it clear to government that they should look at it, bring some uniformity. It's not even about the standard rate. It's not even about the flat rate. It's about one that you choose that is uniform for all of us.
Great. All right. So you're still watching Business Live with me, Charles Aite. We are having in studio the president of the Ghana Union of Traders Association, Dr. Joseph Obeng. We want to go for a short break. When we return, we're going to be having a discussion on where this leaves the cost of goods and services on the market. Already we're witnessing some hikes, but with the current factors of the cedi and the benchmark values, where does this leave the average Ghanaian bar? We're going to be having more of this when we return. Just stay with us.